The APS certificate explained in detail. The APS certificate, a new and mandatory requirement to study in Germany. Hello, welcome to Mehetre German Academy. In today's video, we are going to explain the detailed process of applying for an APS certificate, as it is a compulsory requirement to obtain the student visa to study in Germany, introduced since November 2022. The APS certificate is a way to verify the authenticity of the Indian academic documents. It is required to obtain an appointment to have your student visa. It might be also required to take admission into some of the German universities as well. If the APS certificate is so important, then the question arises, should one apply to the universities of Germany first or to the APS certificate? Therefore, the APS itself recommends that anyways the APS certificate is required for all the students to obtain a student visa. Therefore, to keep processing times at a minimum, one should apply to the APS certificate beforehand before applying to the German universities. The process to register and submit the APS application is as follows. All the documents which are required, they should be photocopied on both the sides and should be color copies of A4 sized papers. Before beginning the registration, you should pay the APS fee of rupees 18,000 using one of the two options, either offline payment. The APS bank details can be found on the website of the APS in the checklist section. Download the checklist which is applicable for you. At the bottom of the checklist on the second page, you can find the bank account details of the APS where you need to transfer the fee. Or while registering, you can select the online payment option, which is the CC Avenue payment option, wherein you can pay with your credit or debit cards as well. Why this is necessary? Because the first required document that you need is the APS fee transfer receipt, after which you need a passport sized photo which shouldn't be older than 6 months, and its digital version, when you scan it, shouldn't be less than 30 KB. It should be exactly 30 KB. Remember this while scanning the photo. It should be exactly 30 KB. Next, you also need the copy of your Aadhaar card, which should be linked with a valid and official mobile number. You also need a copy of a valid passport of its first and last pages respectively. After which you need your 10th and 12th class mark sheets, of course their copies, with the certificates being the copies as well. Next, if you have given the JEE main and advanced, then you need the proof of passing the exam along with the admit card. Those who haven't given the JEE main and advanced exam can skip this and collect the next document, which is copy of your test AS results. The test AS is a test required for studying undergraduation in Germany. The copy of the test AS results should be present with you for submission with core and subject specific results in it. Those who have done their undergraduation or bachelor studies in India and wish to go for MS or Masters in Germany should have the copy of their class 12 admit card, if available, copy of marksheets of the semesters, and of course the copy of the bachelor degree that you have obtained. Next, you need to have the copy of your language certificate. If you have given the English language test, which is the IELTS or TOEFL, you need to have that. Or if you have given the Goethe Institute Goethe certificate, language exam of the Goethe Institute, for which we provide training, you need to have that. You can only submit one copy of the language certificate of your choice. Next, you need to go to the website of the APS, which is aps-india.de, and click on the checklist section or the checklist page. When you go to the checklist page, there is a button or link to download the student consent letter of consent. Do download this letter, print it and duly sign it, for it is a required document which needs to be submitted with the rest of the documents which we have spoken about already. And the most important document which is required is the completed and duly signed application form that you need to submit completely, print it, and then after duly and officially signing it by the candidate who is applying, send it to the APS along with all these required documents. After gathering all the required documents, you need to go and register or create an account on the website of the APS, which is aps-india.de. After typing in your email address and creating a password which is minimum 7 characters in length, 1 character should be uppercase, 1 should be lowercase small normal character, and 1 special character. This all is compulsory to create a password which is 7 characters minimum in length. On the next page, it asks you for your personal details, which include your name, first and last, email address, gender, nationality. You need to enter your date of birth. You also need a digital version of your passport sized photo that we have spoken about, which should be 30 KB with a white background and no more older than 6 months. After which you need your Aadhaar card number and your passport number. Make no mistake while inputting or typing both these numbers. You should not mistype, wrongly type your passport and Aadhaar card numbers. Remember this. You need to input or type the correct address. They have given you a couple of lines for filling in the address. After filling in the personal details section, we go to the next section, which is educational details 1, wherein you have to fill in your 10th board name, year of passing, 12th board name, year of passing. If you remember the 10th exam center number or ID, if you remember it, otherwise it's not compulsory, you can ignore this. But to speed up your application process or verification process of the APS, the fields or the sections which are not required can be ignorable. If you know them, remember them, do complete those sections to increase or accelerate, speed up your own verification process. So you need your 10th examination center number or ID, same with your 12th examination center number or ID, and of course your 10th passing percentage, your 12th passing percentage. After filling in educational details 1 or education details 1, you need to go to the next page, which is education details 2. In education details 2, you need to fill name of the university from where you have done your bachelor's studies, the institute name, the course which you have pursued, the bachelor course name, the duration of the course. Please don't write there 3 years, 4 years, because it doesn't take it. It says invalid format. Only enter a numeric value 2, 3, 4, whatever. After entering the number of years or duration of the course, you need to enter the subject in which you pursued your bachelor degree, be it BTech or Bachelor of Computer Science or whatever. Enter that. Next, you need to enter the year of graduation. Again, this is the numeric value, so do not enter years, simply select or enter the numeric value in which year you have graduated, the total percent you received on completing your bachelor's or undergraduation. If your university gives you it in percentage, write in percentage. Otherwise, if it issues it in CGPA, write in CGPA. Next, after filling in these details, you need to enter, if you remember, the bachelor student login ID and password. If you remember it, one of the professor's official email ID from your bachelor course could be the head of department or HOD. For example, you need to fill in the official and valid email ID of the professor. After completing the education details 2 section, you need to go to the next section, which is the test AS scores. Type in your test AS scores. After completing the test AS scores section, you need to go to the language details, wherein you can input your IELTS if you have given the English IELTS exam, or TOEFL if you have given the TOEFL exam, or if you have given the German international exam, Goethe certificate exam of the Goethe Institute, you can enter the scores of that. After filling in the language details, we go to the next section, which is the payment details. Now, here, if you have made the online payment through CC Avenue using your credit card or debit card, this section will either not be shown, or if it is shown, you can skip this section or choose the online payment method option. But if you have made the offline payment, then you can fill this section as name of the payee, from whose account the payment has been made, date of the offline payment, the bank name of the bank from where you have transferred the payment, and with every bank transaction that you make, you get a bank reference transaction ID or number. Please enter that correct number because it has to match with the APS records, the IFSC code, and the amount that you have paid, which is 18,000 Indian rupees. After completing all these sections, you can submit and download the application form, print it, sign it, gathering the consent letter that you have printed and downloaded from the APS website, sign the letter, provide all the physical A4 sized, colored, photocopied on both sides copies of all the documents that we have spoken about, and send it to the APS address located on the APS website. So this is how the application process for filling up and submitting the APS form or application works. Please inform your institute that the institute might receive a call from the APS to verify certain details or documents. Also inform the professor whose email ID you have provided to the APS that the APS might send any emails to the professor's email ID, and the professor must reply to the email ID or to the email of the APS in order to accelerate the verification process. You will receive the APS certificate after it's verified by the APS in a secure digital PDF format on the email ID that you have provided while registering. Also, when the payment is verified, your profile will be updated with the verification. Also, when the APS verification is complete, the profile will be again updated and you will receive your digital APS certificate to apply for the visa and the German universities. The APS certificate is in a digital format and can be used to apply to as many German universities to book an appointment for the German student visa as well. It is also useful to apply for the Uni Assist. This was about the APS application and submission process. More of such news can be found on Mehetre German Academy.